Hello, classmate. Well, this week I was assigned as a presenter for the exercise number 5 of the chapter 3. So now I am going to show how to do this exercise. First of all, I have to journalize all these transactions of the Agile Architects. Agile Architects incorporated a licensed architects on April 1, 2017, and during the first months of the operation of the business, these events and transactions occurred. So what we are going to do is to journalize all these transactions in a chronological order. So the first thing we have to do is to journalize what happened on the first day of April. Stockholders invested $22,050 cash in exchange for common stock of the corporation. So the first account we are going to journalize is cash for $22,050 on the debit account, on the debit column, and common stock is the account that we're going to credit for the same amount, $22,050. On that same first day, Ayala hired a secretary receptionist at a salary of $459 per week, payable monthly. But since this is an economic transaction that changes the accounts of the assets of the company, we just have to register it as no entry. And with the zero in both columns. On the second day, Ayala paid office rent for the month, $1,103. So the account we are going to use is rent expense for the amount of $1,103. So it has been paid with cash. And this is going to go in the credit column. On the third day, Ayala purchased architectural supplies on account from Birmingham Company for $1,593. So the account we are going to use is supplies for the amount of $1,593, and it has been credited to the account payable. So the account we are going to use is account payable, and it goes in the credit column for the same amount. On day 10, Ayala completed blueprints on a carport and billed the client $2,328 for services. So the account we are going to use is account receivable, since Ayala didn't receive cash, so they are going to receive it in the future. So the account receivable for the amount of $2,328. And it has been the concept of we are going to use the account service revenue for the same amount. And the day 11, Ayala received $858 cash advance from M. Jason to design the new home. So the account we're going to use is cash because they received money for the amount of $858. And the account that we're going to credit is the account on earned service revenue. Earned service revenue for the same amount, $858. On day 20, Ayala received $3,430 cash for services completed and delivered to S. Melvin. So since they received money, they were going to use the account cash. So for the amount of $3,430, and we're going to use the account service revenue. Service revenue for the same amount. On day 30, we gotta pay the secretary receptionist for the month $1,836. So they paid. We're going to use the account salaries and the wages account. Salaries and wages expense for the amount of $1,836. They paid with cash, so we're going to credit the account cash for the same amount. And the last transaction of the month, they paid to Birmingham $368 to Birmingham Company for accounts payable due. So we're going to debit the account payable for the amount of $368. So they pay with cash. We are going to create the account cash for the amount of $368. So now we have journalized all the transactions of the month April. Now what we are going to do is to post this information on the Ledger T account. So what we have to do is to transfer this information to the Ledger. So we are going to do it in the same chronological order, and we're going to start with the account cash. So we start with the accounts of the assets, and then we follow the accounts of the liabilities and so on. So on the first day, we are just going to transfer the information of the journal. So we are going to put equal, and the first transaction with cash with the account cash was on the first day of April for 2022 for $22,050. So now we hit enter. Now we are transferring the information. On April 2, we see another transaction with cash. So it goes in the credit column, so we are going to put it in the right column. So again, we put equal, select the transaction, the cash account for $1,103, and we hit enter. So we just transfer the information to the Ledger T account. The next transaction with cash, we see it on the day 11 for $858. So on the day 11, we put equal. We select the amount, and just we hit enter and transfer the information. On April 20, we see again the cash account on the debit column. So we put equal, select the amount, hit enter, transfer the information. On April 30, we see two transactions with cash, both of them in the credit column, because Agela paid for the salaries and for the account payable, so we transfer the information for the salary and wage expense. They paid with cash the amount of $1,836. We hit enter, we transfer the information. On April 32, there was another transaction with the account cash, so we transfer this information again. And we hit enter. Now what we have to do is sum, or to add the columns of the debit or the left column, and then we subtract the column of the right, or the credit, and then we get the balance, and the balance is for the amount of $23,031. Okay, now we go to the next account, accounts receivable, and we just have one transaction with this account, and it's in the day 10 for the amount of $2,328. So we are just going to transfer the information. So we put equal, select the account, hit enter, and the balance will be $2,320 because that is the only transaction with this account. We go to the account supplies. There has also been just one transaction with supply. It's on the day 3 of April, so it's in the debit column. So we put equal, select the transaction, and hit enter, just transfer the information. So the balance will be the same one, $1,593. Now we go to the accounts of the liabilities. So the first one we're going to ledger is the accounts payable. For the account payable, we have two transactions. The first one is in April 3. So this goes in the column of the credit, or the right column. So on day 3, we have a transaction with account payable, so we put equal, and we just select the transaction, so we transfer the information. Equal. Okay, we hit enter, just transfer the information. And on April 30, on the column of the debit, we have another transaction with the account payable. So we're going to transfer this information to the ledger. So we put equal, select the transaction, and we hit enter. So now we have to subtract to get the balance. Subtract 1,593. To that, subtract $368. So now we will get $1,225. That will be the balance. Now we go to the account unearned service revenue. We just have one transaction on day 11. So we are going to transfer the information. Day 11 for unearned service revenue. So we hit enter, and the balance will be $858 because that's the only transaction with unearned service revenue. And for the common stock, the same thing. We just have one transaction on the first day. So So we're going to transfer the information.